Welcome back, guys.
Good to be back. It's good to be back.
The last time we were here, we were launching Spotlight, right?
Here we are again.
There's never a shortage of things to talk about or issues that we're dealing with or products that are being released. Today's actually really important, though. iOS 26, it's causing a pretty big stir amongst the political industry, specifically with texting. We obviously have to weigh in on this. And behind the scenes, we've actually been quite busy working on this as well. So we're going to actually bring you a proper political evaluation and give you the direct evaluation head on and tell you how this is going to actually affect you. I'm actually going to start off with you because you're coming back from Cincinnati. You were in Washington.
A lot of travel.
A week or so, or a couple weeks ago.
I hear you had a little bit of excitement
we had a little
in Washington while you there.
We did.
What happened?
Tell us what happened.
Well, we had a little tornado that ripped through our AAPC happy hour, the one that we were actually hosting, believe it or not.
Did you save the signs?
We could not save the signs, unfortunately.
So what happened? It just blew right in. It was
just
open
blew
air.
right in. Stuff flying everywhere, glass breaking, people tripping and falling.
No one got hurt. Everyone's
No.
okay.
Yeah, everyone's okay.
Am I right, Nathan? We may have some video of that.
No, don't do that. No, let's not watch that.
Show the clip. Show the clip.
All right.
I noticed Aftab's the first one down the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad that Aftab made it back. The sign did not. No, that sign did not make it back. That was that. A
lot of fun.
That's hilarious.
But all jokes aside, Josh, let's talk about iOS 26. It's the big ruckus. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's got their arms up in the air. A lot of panic going on within the political industry. That was the talk of the town in DC. People are genuinely concerned that their messages aren't going to get through. Right? Especially their get out the vote messaging, fundraising messages. Every single person I talk to is expressing this concern with iOS 26. And so I'm glad we were able to sit down together and share some of your insights there, Dan.
So then you're in Washington. People start talking. I guess people started talking to you when you were in Cincinnati. Was there some rumblings at the Polly Awards?
There was, right? This release has been around for a couple of months now, right? So
I remember you mentioning it.
Yeah.
So people's concerns, and really what the feature is it's essentially an enhanced ability to filter out unknown senders. So you have unknown senders, which are anyone that's not in your contacts or that you have not interacted with in the past.
Right.
If you get a text message from them, they'll end up in a totally separate folder with absolutely no ping, no noise, just silence.
Just silence, yeah.
So, of course, the political industry is going to be upset about this because this is a main channel for democratic speech. And just like that, you take it away.
It's being taken away, yeah.
70% of small dollar fundraising now is going through text message. You have independent candidates, small candidates, large candidates. In today's day and age with fighting against social media algorithms and up against the challenges of local TV markets, the costs of large broadcasting, text message is one of those things that kind of equal the playing field. And this could be essentially something that could inadvertently make it so free and democratic speech cannot be conducted, at least extremely diminished over text message. So let's just set that up because there's a reason why the industry is concerned. And I understand that. I completely understand that. Of course, how can we not 50, 60% market share for Apple? You know, really high uptick in these new releases of software. And just overnight, you know, people are going to no longer be able to receive their messages. So that sets up the problem, okay? And we're going to go through this, and we're going to try to calm everybody down a little bit. But we want to set up the problem, the reason why you're seeing these news articles and why everybody seems to be quite upset with this. Well, first off, we're in a unique position because we actually have direct relationships with Apple's top management. Our COO has been already in discussions with their public policy and government relations people, the high up people. So we're in these discussions right now. And I can tell you that we believe that things are going to end very favorably. It's an ongoing process. We are in the process of also trying to get our engineers together with their engineers, because we actually think that there is a few things that can be done that's really going to help with the war on spam, but that's not going to risk harming democratic speech or free and open messaging through the text message channels, right? So there is a number of things that that we have put forward to Apple. And we also penned a letter in conjunction with the P2P Alliance for Responsible Political Texting. And we have put together a few suggestions directly to them as well. And I can tell you the White House is aware of what's going on, and several members of Congress is aware of what's going on. Obviously, there's many groups and advocacy groups. I mentioned the P2P Alliance just a moment ago, and they're taking on a big role in this. And we're not doing it in a way that we're demonizing Apple. It's the exact opposite, right? We believe that this could inadvertently damage political speech or democratic speech. We do not believe this is an intentional situation at all.
No.
We just want to get ahead of it.
Can I say it for a second, Josh? If people want to keep updated on these changes, because there's a lot of changes that's happening very quickly, they can follow us on social media. They can follow P2P Alliance on social media, of course, X and Facebook. There'll be regular updates on both Purely and the
You
P2P.
should, because as I said, this is not we're not speculating. We do have a unique situation here where there is open discussions, and we're gonna report this publicly. So follow those social media, and within the next day or two, we'll be releasing an update in terms of some of these discussions. We can put we'll put it up on the screen. We'll put up our X account and Facebook on the screen for everybody to look. So just follow that. We're gonna put out a big announcement in the next couple of days about that. Besides that, Dan has gotten together with his engineering team. Remember, Dan is in a very unique situation to talk about this with his engineers, because unlike a reporter from a newspaper, one of Dan's sole jobs is to really understand the way text messages interact with various platforms and devices. We send billions of messages. When there is a release, you can guarantee we're going to strip it down and we're going to go through the entire thing. So Dan has done this, and he has done the hard work on this, and now we're going to actually share directly with you, the audience, what he has found.
Let's hear it, Dan.
I'm going to pass it over to you, Dan, and if you can take us through this and tell us how is this actually going to affect the political community, and does people need to be panicked? I would love to hear it from you.
Yeah, sure. So what we did is I sat down with the engineering team. This is about a month ago, and we decided we were going to do a deep dive. We were going to go through every aspect of this new release and figure out everything that we possibly could with it. It involved sending hundreds, if not a couple thousand, text messages to our various suite of test phones on iOS 26. We went through every aspect that could possibly interact with the phone. So we're talking whether or not it's in your contacts, whether or not you've interacted with it, all the normal filtering that's built in the phones, as well as whether it's TCR registered or 10DLC registered, or whether it's shortcode. Everything that we could possibly do that's related to text messaging that happens on an iPhone, we tested all aspects of it to see exactly how this feature is going to interact with it. And just to rewind and give a little bit of background, this is a feature update that was announced at Apple's WWDC 25 conference about 2 months ago now. We've seen about 3 or 4 developer releases. I think we're on developer release 4 right now. And that's the release that Apple releases to the developer community, so they can get an idea of what the features are going to look like and what's coming, and so they can change their apps to support it better. Yeah. Additionally, now, just in the past couple of days, we've seen the public beta come out. This is the first version of what the final product is going to look like. We've been able to go through all those development releases as well as the public beta to do this analysis. So I think the best thing to do is we'll just take a look at the feature that we're all talking about.
I'm excited.
Right? It's the best way to do it.
To my knowledge, this is yet to be done. There's not been a single evaluation specifically for the political community. This is the first time, probably worldwide, that this is being done, and I'm glad. So we're going to bring it directly to you. We're going to bring it right to the political industry right now, and we're going to see if we can, quash or confirm rumors right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll just share my screen. We can all just follow along. So as you can see right off the bat, well, first thing I'll do is I'll switch to showing us where to turn on the feature. So we'll start by going to the settings section of the screen. And then what we'll do is we will scroll all the way down. We get to our apps area, and I'll tap apps. From here, you can either scroll way down again, or you can search for messages. So I'll go ahead and search for messages, and then I'll tap it. Now we're on the text message settings screen for the phone. And again, we're going to scroll way down.
So you really have to hunt for this. They didn't make it easy.
It's pretty deep down there. So we'll get down to the section called unknown senders. Now this section isn't new, but it's been renamed and changed a little bit. And as you can see, there's that new toggle for unknown senders. Yep. And it was the beginning of our findings, and I'll get into it more later, but it's defaulted off.
That's important.
So as you see. And we've also confirmed it's defaulted off when you do a fresh install on a new phone on iOS 26, or when you upgrade from an iOS 18 to 26. It seems to be defaulting off. Okay. So I'll go ahead and tap the toggle to turn this feature on. And now we'll switch back to the Messages app. It will look the same as when the feature was off before. Obviously, this doesn't look exactly like your current Messages app because it has Apple's new liquid glass display.
It's pretty slick.
And it does look pretty slick in my opinion. I know a lot of people out there don't like it, but I'm a fan.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
So to switch to this other unknown senders box, we're going to click on this little filter button in the top right corner. Before I do that, you'll see there's a little one, a blue one in the corner. That's telling us that there's one unread message in our unknown sender. That's the only visual indication that we have that there's a message in there. So we'll go ahead and tap that, and I'll switch to the unknown senders inbox, and there we have it. And you see what it's like. It looks exactly like the other inbox, but now we have this unknown senders message in there. I'll go ahead and tap on this message. This particular message did make an audible notification when I got it. It was addressed to me, and that's another thing I'll get into in the analysis, but it does make that reference. From here, if I tap mark as known, it'll transfer this conversation out of the unknown senders box and back over to the other one. So I'll go ahead and I'll switch back, and we'll switch it to it. And now we're back in our normal messages box, and you can see that now that message is there because I moved it.
Yeah.
If you interact with a message, if you add it to your contacts books, that's what brings it out of there. And that's kind of the summary of the features. Not a whole lot to it. That's basically what we're talking about here. Okay. So moving on, what the team did is they sat down and they went through, like I said, thousands of messages, every use case we could possibly think of what this is going to look like. And in our testing and analysis, with the feature turned off, we found no different change in how the phone behaved. All the messages that we expected to go in the inbox went into the inbox. There was no differences whatsoever. However, when we turned the feature on, that did make a pretty significant difference. And any message that looked like it was mass market in any way ended up in that unknown senders box. And most of them did not make any audible notification or any visual notification either. They were just in there. And the only way to know, again, is to tap that little blue one on the filter thing and to see what's there. Our testing also showed that this was not isolated to just peer-to-peer, long code, or anything like that. Yeah. It was broad. It covered a lot of things. So we were able to confirm it does it on iMessage. It also does it on RCS. We believe it does it on RBM. We haven't been able to confirm that yet. And it also did it on shortcode, which was quite the surprise that we weren't expecting.
Yeah, that's surprising.
There's also another new feature that I should mention, which is they have a new spam filtering feature. As of yet, of 1,000 or so messages that we were able to send, we weren't able to get any of them to actually go into that spam folder. The only way we were able to get anything to go in there is to actually mark the message as spam in the phone, and then it moved it in there.
Okay.
So that might be something that we'll see in the future. As I said, this is still beta software. It's not the final version, so that may evolve in time, and we'll keep you up to date. The last point I wanted to cover is there's a lot of talk, and after you've heard that this is a new feature and that it's changing and it's swinging. This feature has existed on phones already.
A couple of years. It's
been out there already.
Yeah.
What's new is that there's an on-device AI model now that helps sort those messages between known or unknown senders, and that's what handles the interaction part of it and that kind of stuff. Now, it's a little bit of a black box. We don't know exactly what it's doing. Our team's working on figuring out exactly what that is, but we've noticed that it's not just everything goes in unknown or the other way.
It's like an update to a feature.
Yeah.
And by releasing this now, people are starting to pay attention, saying, "Wait a minute, this could actually have effect on political speech." Okay, I get it.
So if Apple flips this feature to default on, what is your testing showing specifically for political messages, right, Dan? Like fully 10 DLC registered messages that have opted in, that have done the whole song and dance. What is your testing really showing with those guys?
And that's the big question, right? And just to give a little background again, Apple has a pretty good track record of putting a release out, and then about 60 to 90 days later, 90% of their user base are on the new software.
Oh, that's fast.
And we're being told it's going to come out in September. That's their normal release cycle. So if this comes out in September, by November, we could see 90+% of the population having this on their phone. And it being defaulted on. The implication to political text message would be huge. Because in our testing, as we found, messages that look like mass messages, which is a lot of political text messages right now, all ended up in there, almost all of them without any sort of notification. So they would just disappear.
That's why everyone's so
for sure,
concerned,
for
right?
sure.
So, I can understand that.
So, stepping away from the political context a little bit here, I'm just trying to put myself in everybody else's shoes because I know we're always focused on the political market. This seems like it could be massively disruptive to everybody because I think about all the notifications we get on a daily basis, like two-step verification for banking, flights, doctors, Instacart,
Uber
Lyft,
Eats.
exactly. If this is defaulted on,
Healthcare,
this is it impacts everybody. If this is defaulted on, what are the consequences here for the rest of the market?
We need to stress that this is not a political problem. This is not a politics problem. This is a text messaging problem. And as you know, everything is text messaging these days. Every notification you get is coming over text.
More and more, not less.
The whole world runs connected to text messaging in some way. So this could be very, very impactful. Anecdotally, in our testing, I'm running iOS on my own iOS 26 on my own device. I get Bank of America notifications daily. They're all ending up in the unknown senders. They're all being filtered away from me.
I can see another situation where you got this fancy new feature, you get your spam messages, you want to get rid of them, and you turn it on, then you forget about it, not realizing you're going to get rid of again banking, doctors, all these important notifications. I mean, this is going to be a massive problem for people. This is like,
it could be your contractor
that's actually a
that
great
says that
point.
they've arrived, or it could be the school, or your kid's parents, your kid's friend parent. Like,
I just can't imagine that.
And you've turned it off because you don't want the spam, which we understand that. And now all of a sudden, 3-4 days later, you look and you
All
miss
this time,
something
you
that's
realize-
important. That's a good point.
Something that came up when we were testing and we were just talking about it as a team was it's going to happen where someone's going to be, getting text messages from a source they don't want. Maybe they didn't opt in for it. Maybe they don't care about it anymore. And instead of replying stop or going through a normal channel to stop that texting, they're going to fall back to this feature. They're going to say, oh, I'll just turn on that new thing. That should get rid of that. And it may get rid of that, but I don't think anyone who's turning on that feature realizes how wide sweeping of that feature
the consequences
is.
there.
Right, that's going to block a lot of messages that they are expecting to be able to get.
I can already imagine all the support calls that this is going to generate for people calling in and saying, I'm not getting my messages. What's happening? It's just, something's wrong with your system, right?
Sounds like a nightmare.
Sounds like an absolute nightmare.
But at the same time, I do want to give Apple the benefit of the doubt. They've had a long track record of being very pro-consumer privacy. They've got a long track record of making sure that people don't get too many notifications. They've done very good on their notification system as far
We're
as
not
we're concerned.
demonizing Apple here. We're not.
Benefit of the
That's
doubt.
not what we're
The goal
doing
is noble,
here. Yes.
and I think this is still beta. It's not the final version. Maybe there's still some bugs to get worked out, but what we see right now isn't the best implementation of what looks to be a pretty good idea for the industry as a whole.
Yep, absolutely makes sense. So what we are putting forward to Apple, and in our discussions as well as in a letter that we recently penned with the P2P Alliance for Responsible Texting, is we're asking Apple to outright just pause the feature. Just pause the feature just for now. Just to be able to study its impact on democratic speech, and to work with us and the industry in coming up with, and we actually are putting forward an idea right now, an idea that's going to actually help combat spam, but in a long and lasting and meaningful way without sacrificing democratic speech or other opt-in or verified sources. Very, very important. So we're asking for that. We're also saying that should you go forward with this release, make sure you let the users decide, make this an opt-in, do not default this as opt-out, and the user should be in control of this from the get-go. We're also asking Apple to ensure that they honor verified senders. This is not a new concept. They need to respect the established compliance standards that are already put out in the market from the campaign registry, from the TCR, Campaign Verify, as well as the MNOs and the DCAs. There's also rules in place with the FCC. These are things that are already in place, and we believe that we can actually help them implement a few simple solutions that can literally combat spam overnight without getting involved in the situation of having people miss critical communications.
Everybody's working towards the same thing.
Yes, and this part they always do a great job with, and that's where we're calling on them for collaboration. Collaboration with Peerly, collaboration with the PDP Alliance, collaboration with the political industry. We would like to collaborate with them, and as far as we understand, we will be getting our engineering team together with them as well. So this is what we've put forward to ask Apple. And we can tell you right now, like I mentioned already, we are in ongoing discussions with them right now. And they've been very, very receptive, and I believe it's going to come up with a positive outcome to this. If I had to just ask one quick question, just to summarize some of this, you said that in the developer version and the public version is defaulted off. Correct. Do you have any reason to believe that they are going to release this in September and it's going to be defaulted on at this point in time?
No. We've seen how these releases work. We've run pre-release software on our phones and our test phones before. This is what we do. We've never seen a situation where Apple has had a feature that has been off, and then when it comes to the final public release, it gets turned on. So our feeling right now is that it's going to remain defaulted off based on what we've seen so far.
That's
So
great news.
you've heard that. Our audience watching, that is very, very important. That's the first time somebody has actually said that. So that is very, very encouraging. But I have to ask the other question. Can you guarantee that it's not going to be that it's not going to be turned on in a later release or in the next release? Can you guarantee that that this is not going to be a widespread feature release that's going to be defaulted on for everyone?
And the answer, of course, is no. We don't know. We don't really know.
So obviously we don't know. And that's the reason why everyone's coming together, just to make sure that should there be something that happens where it could inadvertently affect democratic speech, we're going to get ahead of it now. We're going to let cooler heads prevail. We're going to express the potential for issues. And we truly believe that Apple will hear us out, and they have been. And I just want to thank Dan and his engineering team for doing this proper breakdown of the evaluation. Hopefully everybody can take a deep breath, realize we're not out of the woods yet, but we're on the right path right now. We're going to do everything we can, and I know there's a number of other individuals working on this as well. Besides that, thank you guys for your time. Much appreciated.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great night. Thank you to our audience.
Before we go, I'd just like to give everybody a reminder, make sure you follow us on social media for regular updates. Purely, we're on X, we're on Facebook. It's going to be up on the screen behind me, so make sure you follow. We should have something you said about 2 days with more updates. Excellent.
Good stuff.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.